Welcome to the SLUSH podcast, the only place on the internet where we cover toddler toys to movie reviews and all of the spoilers in between.
Hello, Dino Ding Dongs. It's been a while. So, if you've been following along, we did the first book, Juassic Park, by Michael Crichton. And Matt read it. I read it. We talked about it a bunch. There's been dino things happening. Jurassic World Rebirth came out, and Matt and I both saw it. That's a whole episode.
That is a whole episode. I mean, I didn't hate it or anything. I enjoyed it, but who knows where they're going.
But in the world of sequels, it's important to note that this book, The Lost World, was actually Michael Crichton's first sequel.
Huh. What other sequels did he do?
I don't know. I just only took note that this was the first one. I think he had a lot of pressure. Isn't there like a thing where he's like the only person to ever have like a best-selling book, like a number one movie? Like there's like he's like the only person to ever have like all these smash hits.
I honestly don't know. I've never looked. I mean, I kind of glanced at his bio once.
The funny thing is, of all the research I did, that was the one thing I didn't look up.
I know he was a doctor. I've seen interviews with him on like late night shows where they're like, "You're a doctor and now you're writing science fiction novels. How did that happen?" And he's like, "Oh, Michael Crichton." So
well, we've talked pretty openly about like the techno sci-fi of it all. You know what I mean, and how like Crichton is like taking large stances on current technological advances.
yeah, it's kind of cool. It makes you really think more about what's already happening right now and not just the fictional part of the novel, which is, I guess, what his work really stands out from other people's like that, with that going on.
Yeah, I think he just has like a good pulse on, like, you know, people talk about like the cultural pulse, like what's happening in the media. And he was just like really able to see the science side of that coming.
Yeah, it's true. I love how he has like the little speeches of like Ian Malcolm talking. There was one part, honestly, I was re-listening to it on my way to work this morning. And I was listening to Ian Malcolm talking at the opening of it for so long that I forgot almost that I was listening to an audiobook. And then when suddenly it changed, I was like, oh shit, that was a long rant he just did, you know? But then you find out that he's at a university and is a speaker, and like it's kind of smart the way that Michael Crichton is bringing you back into Jurassic Park, like in the universe. It was cool. I had honestly really enjoyed The Lost World. I was shocked how much I liked it.
I guess this is the first thing we have to reconcile with is that Malcolm's not dead. Like they literally said he's dead at the end of the first book, and then we're just like, surprise! Like,
yeah, that was confusing, but it didn't bother me that much. I was like, oh, like when you're already reading with dinosaurs, it's kind of like, okay, like they brought dinosaurs back. Ian Malcolm's not dead. They even go into depth about how he like has InGen's bankruptcy thing paid like 2 years of medical bills, right? That was like his thank you very much, don't ever talk about this again kind of NDA thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I was watching a little bit of the movie the other night, and it's interesting that like that Malcolm, I think, got in trouble for blabbing about things a little bit, and that this Malcolm seems to have. And there's times like when he starts talking to other characters where he doesn't necessarily just like, oh yeah, dinosaurs, you know what I mean? Like you can tell he's playing his cards close to his chest.
Yeah.
Like this is way down in advance, but he doesn't really openly start talking about dinosaurs until they get to where the dinosaurs are.
I know, and I felt like we were really looking for that. And again, the author is just so smart at like leading us right up to that point, and then when he gives it to you, it's so satisfying, and you're like, yes, this book is good. I thought it was great. I loved it, to be honest with you. I'm obviously you love it because you've talked about The Lost World the whole time I've known you.
I did make a point that like I think we both do like the audiobook thing pretty heavily, and I fell for like doing the audiobook in the first book, And this time, and like I missed some maps and things. So this time I'm like, I'm getting the physical book and making sure I don't miss a thing. Don't want to miss a thing. Stand by for our upcoming podcast.
Oh my god, that was such a good hook into that. That'll be unmatched for like forever. Oh shit, gold. I can't wait to do that. I didn't watch them yet, but yeah.
So we come into Malcolm talking to a bunch of students.
Yes,
we've all seen that scene before, and then we get this is our first introduction to Levine. That's the word. Who is a rich kid scientist. I don't know how old he is.
They kind of talk about it because they're like, oh, he's gonna inherit all the money of this toy or this pop culture icon's money.
It was like
thing.
A Barbie thing.
Yeah, but it's university, so I don't know. It's so mixed, all the ages at university. I think they said he has a
PhD, 20s? So he's got to be at least late 20s, unless he's like some kind of savant.
Well, when he's climbing the cliff later, he does make a point in his thought to be like, oh, this guy's younger than me. He can carry these things no problem. And he has like the bag with the gun and stuff in it. And he's like, "Si, senor." It's awful.
I did a word they don't use, but I wrote down is Levin is essentially a cryptozoologist.
Is he?
Yeah, his whole thing is like finding like these dinosaurs and like cryptozoology is like the study of like unknown animals, I guess.
Oh.
So like cryptozoologists would be people that this isn't to diminish it in any way, but like people that seriously explore like Bigfoot and like Loch Ness Monster. But then there's also like real things like the okapi, like animals that don't exist in science but are believed to exist would fall into like that cryptozoology world.
Oh, that would be fun.
Like the exploration for like the thylacine or the Tasmanian tiger is falls into that category of cryptozoology.
I get where you're laying down. Yeah.
There was actually I think they mentioned him going to Africa. I wrote it down and exploring. Yeah. He went to Bokambu rainforest, which is an area of Cambodia or Cameroon that has a sauropod. I wrote this down because this is going to come back around to a familiar story. Do you remember that movie Baby?
Yes.
That's the dinosaur that he was looking for. That's a known cryptid animal that lives within a legend that there are actual scientists looking for. I wrote the word down, the Moleke Membe. I'm really sorry. I did look for a pronunciation. But when I was looking, they actually had an interesting word. I know this sounds like I'm on like a total spiral.
No, it doesn't at all.
They used a term, neodinosaurian cryptid, which is a really interesting term.
Well, shit. I'm like, well, let's go find some dinosaurs if they exist somewhere. Do you think they exist somewhere?
I don't know, man. Like,
wouldn't that be crazy though?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Juassic Park. Well, all birds are dinosaurs, Tim. But I don't know. Like the crazy, like the big thing about Sasquatch. Listen, I just read a book about Sasquatches attacking a town.
Oh shit.
Is like, I would be surprised. Like, it's a big critter to not have been hit by a car. Like, how come nobody's hit one yet?
A Sasquatch?
Yeah, and like we live in a world where there's never been more cameras to capture like a picture of a Sasquatch.
Justin and I always have this ongoing argument about aliens because he's like, I believe there's aliens, and I'm like, I believe that there's definitely other things out there for sure, yes. And he's like, no, I believe in the UFOs, big eyes, gray, Area 51, and I'm like, oh. And he's very adamant about it, and I was like, think about it this way, man. There's so many astronomers now, and there's so many amateur astronomers. The night sky is watched like all over the world constantly, you know? And I was like, to be honest with you, man, I've read so much shit over like the past 15 years about space. I've never read anything that's compelling yet that we have been visited by an alien during our recorded history or anything in the past. Like I haven't seen anything. It would be awesome if we did, but I haven't seen anything, you know?
It's incredible timing. Although, did we jump over some stuff?
Oh, we jumped
We need
over
to go back.
everything.
No,
Yeah,
we
I'm
didn't. Not as far as my notes. Like we're doing pretty good.
well, we
Okay.
did,
Let me touch on a couple things before we get because the note you're talking about aliens and stuff. I actually have a note right after my long neck dinosaur note about exactly that thing.
really?
I do.
This is why we're doing a podcast right now together.
So we get the kids talking. You know, Malcolm talking to the kids. Oh, the shorthands. Do you remember at one point he's talking about they have shorthands for different scenarios in science. So like there was one called the Gambler's Ruin, the Game of Life. They actually referenced later the Red Queen, Black Noise, but probably the most significant one is the Lost World. And they're referring to like that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, like there's an area that's sheltered from human society in some way that then allows these animals, this world that we believe to not exist anymore, to exist. And
Man.
like I would argue that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle has been like that influence, including the situation in Jurassic Park. But he like was it the Land of the Lost,
Yeah.
like Skull Island and Godzilla, King Kong world.
I liked Skull Island. I thought it was pretty cool.
But like that whole like Skull Island, or like what do they call it in
Oh, and
Hollow
King
Earth?
Kong.
But
Yeah.
like it's like the Hollow Earth thing, like that's all within that world. But it's important to point out because it's the title of the book, and they're essentially kind of talking. I think Levine's hoping that it's a land of dinosaurs, like the Lost World,
Yeah.
and is ultimately kind of disappointed that it's like somebody just opened up a dog kennel and turned out a bunch of really ugly dogs.
I'm so glad that you said that because when I finished listening to the part where you were like, okay, we're just going to do this section, I was like, perfect. It ended perfectly before we did this. And I was like, I want to talk about this exact topic, but this is like a broad everything of what we've read about the book. So how are we going to start with this? But here we are. So, yeah. What do you think it means that he puts the idea of the Lost World forward, but then they find what we obviously know they find? Like, what do you think Michael Crichton is trying to tell us? Like, what is it, the lesson of this?
Well, I think that like even back in the original series, like we've had this conversation a bunch of times about are they really dinosaurs? Like they're a thing that was created in the lab. And Henry had this conversation with Hammond in Hammond's hut, where not only was Henry like, this is the closest we're going to get to dinosaurs, but because we tried to make them really close to dinosaurs, they're really boring.
Yeah.
So let's make them more interesting. And there could be an argument to make these are the more interesting dinosaurs. They actively moved away from making them authentic.
Yeah, and these ones are surviving in the wild too without any like lab interference either later. Um
Well, they say that the original batch, there's things that I've only recently picked up in the Lost World in both the movies. Is what I'm understanding is there was, in my mind, like when the original park fell, like the next day they turned the dinosaurs loose on Site B. But missing now is like that's not totally what happened. Like I think they operated Site B for quite some time.
Really? Did they say that?
No, but they talk about like a hurricane in the movie that took out Site B, but I think it's a different hurricane than the one from the other movie. And in the book, they talk about there's two waves of dinosaurs. Like there was a wave of dinosaurs that they found a bunch of dinosaurs by like an experimental farm where they were doing experimental soybeans, which I'd probably suggest is like experimentally lots of lysine soybeans.
Yeah, when they mentioned that in the novel, I was like, lysine every goddamn time.
Guessing it's an InGen. I did write down in the note the InGen farm question mark. But
Oh,
then,
you mean you think InGen actually put that stuff there on purpose?
well, no, I don't
thought they
know
were- They're bankrupt at this point, right?
Yeah, but I think it was like that's why I think like this first group of dinosaurs that they found, because I don't know if you at the end of the original book, they talk about they found like an animal trail, like on the Costa Rican mainland that's just like beelining it through the rainforest,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna speculate and say there's a real chance that maybe the farm that these critters are at might have actually been like the original, like that was like where they were feeding them from.
Oh, you think that's the supplier for the island?
Yeah,
Hmm. That's not a bad theory. I think that
because
that's good.
the other thing is like if they're feeding them these extra like these lysine enrichment, like that's the thing that they like on some kind of crazy. This might be grasping, but they're smelling their food. Of course, they're gonna go straight towards
Yeah.
their food.
No, that makes sense to me. It kind of makes sense with the raptors doing their thing at the end of the book too, where they're all like on the beach and stuff. And
But then there's a gap. So we the Levine's hearing all of this from Marty Gutierrez. Do you remember Marty?
yeah, from the first book?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. So when the little girl gets attacked by the lizard, by
Yeah.
the compy, he's the field biologist that's like, I think it was a basilisk lizard. And then he sends the sample. He's the one that gets the sample that eventually gets to Grant.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's
But then
funny.
at the end of the first book, when they have all the survivors in the Costa Rican resort and they're trying to figure out if they're gonna let them go or not, Marty is there. Marty has a conversation with Grant, and it's like this interesting moment of like somebody that studies like old dinosaurs and somebody that's studying like
Is
the
that
new
how the
dinosaurs.
first book ended? Was with them two talking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I do remember that. Yeah, because they're like, we might be here for a while, kind of thing.
So then we find out here that Marty and Levine are actually like school buddies, like they went to school together,
Yeah.
and where are we at? Marty's taking Levine out to see this carcass. And Marty's talking, or it's after they see the carcass that Marty's talking about. We had the first batch of dinosaurs found at the farm, and then there was nothing. And he never calls them dinosaurs; he always calls them aberrant forms. Marty insists that they're not dinosaurs and there's some weird lizard for a long time, for the whole time. But then he says like there was a gap, and now they've started showing up again.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I like I don't know. I think that it's kind of bizarre because Levine is basically one of the main characters, but he's not in the movie at all. Like there is no Levine in the movie. Nothing. Right?
Yeah. Oh, there's another thing in the book that we're gonna get to too that I don't think you know about. There was a thing that Crichton. There's a deleted scene from the book.
What? What do you mean?
Oh, we'll get there. We have jumped over two things. The first time they mention prions is early in the book in page 5. And that is,
Prions?
yeah, which is like foreshadowing. And then we also see the first introduction of Sarah Harding, young, hip female biologist in a time when there weren't a lot of young, hip female biologists.
Dude, I gotta say, I think she's way cooler in the book than the movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, she seems cooler in the book.
It's
Because in the movie, I don't know. Yeah.
it's no less weird that she's hanging out with Malcolm to me though. Like,
Oh, that's weird for sure.
like, how did this happen? Like, none of this makes any sense.
People have their interests, you know? She likes the weird old scientist dude who's all crippled for 2 years, and she took care of it. It is bizarre,
Did you
but
notice that
she's a
there's
good character.
there's like a funny point where she's talking about all the weirdos that Malcolm is bringing over. Like she's like, oh, like I don't know, this like djembe expert and stuff. And then she's like literally a person that lives in like the desert, like in Africa with with hyenas. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, her job would be really crazy. It was pretty cool though. Safaris and stuff.
and then we also come up on Basilton. Yeah, so Basilton's like the celebrity scientist that. So this is the funny thing. Basilton was hired by InGen to give. There's no dinosaurs. If like to help out InGen, but then Biosyn, who's the people that commission Nidri to steal the embryos, also hires Basilton to do their propaganda.
Is that? I don't even remember that part.
It's because at this point when they introduce him, they're actually introducing him as the guy doing propaganda for InGen, because he has a conversation like where he has a thing where he's like saber-toothed tigers indeed.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah. Yeah.
But getting back to your alien part, I know this seems like I'm jumping around, but I've got it like in order. Creighton mentions a thing called a techno myth.
Yes.
And he talks about like the disillusion of like we have now gone from a world that is consumed by ethereal, I don't know if ethereal is the right term, but by things that are like paranormal, I guess, in the sense that like, oh, like gods and myths and legends, you know, and now we are like consumed with like science fiction myths. Like science fiction has taken over like Hercules fighting the Chimera. Now, instead of talking about Hercules fighting the Chimera, we talk about aliens in Area 51. Or like government people hacking our email. Which the weird thing is like this comes up truer than more often than not. But you know.
Yeah. Well,
And I think we see that. I mean, like there's like a world to talk about, like look at like a techno myth, like how people worship like friggin' Pokemon cards and stuff.
dude, yeah, some of it's out of control. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the techno myth thing was interesting. I don't know. It's so different than I imagined it would be because I didn't think that I don't know. In the movie everybody is alive pretty much at the end in Jurassic Park. So when you start the Lost World, almost all the characters are not there from the first movie. None of them really except for Ian, right? And like random characters like this guy who's but for the most part they're just like totally new characters. Even the kids were so there's two kids and they're like switched around. It was so weird.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because in the movie they amalgamate a couple characters like Eddie Carr and what's his name? Oh, the guy that Thorne. Dr. Thorne are like the same person.
Yeah. I liked his character in the book, how he made all the cool gadgets and like the vehicles. So cool.
I like
really
that.
Like that.
We haven't got to him yet, but I like that he's like kind of a no nonsense academic. Like there's just like ability to get kind of lost in academia. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, like it works or it doesn't work. You know, like this is like we have a problem, you fix it.
I like how he gives them like weird, impossible, like square things to put to round holes, and he's like, make it work with a rubber
Yeah,
band and like a toothpick. That's
but that's the
cool.
whole thing. The whole point is it's not impossible, right? Like I'm
No.
super into like that material science.
Yeah, it's cool. I really like The Lost World. I think that it's funny that Levine's character is introduced to at the beginning of the book by interrupting Ian Malcolm. It's such a good tactic to use against his character, and immediately Ian's gonna be pissed just from the way he
Well,
is.
I don't want to like. Hopefully, I don't get canceled for this, but I think it's safe to say he might be on the spectrum or on a spectrum.
Apparently, we all are.
He's on the end of the spectrum that people still needs representation, and I'm glad that they have that kind of representation in this book
In Ian or Levine?
in Levine.
I feel like they both are. Really.
I guess.
I feel like to be a really smart person, you kind of need to be a little bit because you're kind of outside of the box, anyways. Point is, it's kind of cool because a lot of geniuses like seem to have isms, I guess. So I don't know. It's kind of neat. I respect that.
It's just cool because you always hear that story about like there was a kid, I think he was autistic, that went to see like Guardians of the Galaxy,
Hmm.
and he saw Drax, and he got really excited because he's like, that's me, like that's a character I identify with. And I think there is like a shortage of those like that representation in media to begin with. So it's
Hmm.
actually like kind of like a sad thing that that wasn't represented in the movie as well.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Have you seen the new
Because
Stranger Things?
yeah,
So, what's her name? Maya Hawke. Her character is a neurodivergent character. So, whenever I see her talking, especially in season 5, I'm like, it's just so funny because like I feel like I start to talk too much sometimes like that too, and it makes me think more about like, you know, I don't know, the way things are now and how they can identify certain things about people when they're really young. So it makes me wonder what we would all like be like as children now, like with how, because it's been like almost, like how old are you? You're in your 30s, right?
yeah.
So it's been a while since like we were kids. Things have changed a lot. It's kind of funny. Um, sorry, this is a side story completely,
No,
but
it's good. Like this is we've talked about this before because we talked about this with the robot character in Alien
Romulus,
Romulus.
yeah, you're right. He definitely played it like that for sure.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I had issues because they were like they did that thing to fix him, and then he became
Yeah.
normal, and like I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't like totally love that.
He was a killer robot. He wasn't really normal though.
I know. It was just a weird thing.
You know
Hashtag
what
go check
though?
out our Alien Romulus episode.
Hey, I'll link it to it at the end of this. Actually, I think I can in the middle of the video. I'm gonna try a test and do that. Um, yeah, I always think about that every time I watch the movie, and I'm like, hmm, because I don't know. I don't really get it. I like Alien Romulus, but there's things about the movie where I'm like, what's happening here? You know?
Yeah, I don't think anybody had any malice in it. I think it's just like a bit of a troublesome like thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like for me, even I don't know. Like it's cool that they have a young cast and they're like, oh, these kids are terraforming kids. Like that concept is really interesting, I think, and I can
Mhm.
see why they would go with it. But then they're like, we're gonna steal a spaceship, we're gonna go to this whale in Utah, and it's in orbit. Nobody even knows it's there, bro. Like, it's cool. But when you have Alien up against things like that, it's tough because Alien's just like a juggernaut, like masterpiece kind of horror science fiction film. So nothing's ever gonna really um, come close, except for Aliens, which was pretty good. Uh, did you see Badlands? Did we talk about that?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about, it, but I saw it.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I wish they made it when I was a kid, man. I would have just exploded my brain seeing that.
It is like they did like such a good job of growing upon the success of Prey.
Yeah. Yeah. The score is done by the same two people, uh, which I couldn't believe because the score, I've listened to it in the car, like driving to work in the morning. So I have like 40 minutes of Predator Badlands, like amped. And man, some of it is like really fucking good. Like it's crazy. So is Prey. The score for Prey is really good too. But yeah, I know what you mean. He just does a good job, man. The fact that we're going way off course here, aren't we?
No, it's good. I love it.
I like Predator because it reminds me of Jurassic Park. You know, it's so realistic seeming some of it, but it's fantastical like that.
He
Like
literally
they
went to a
actually
lost
tried.
world.
Yeah, they went to a lost world. Like it was really cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Elle Fanning was good too as the android synth girl.
Blows my mind that she's now the famous Fanning.
Yeah, I know. Super 8. She was in that too, right?
I guess so. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
what
she was in
happened?
there.
Was she in? Was it Dakota or her that was in the weird anime movie
Oh,
Sucker
which
Punch?
Sucker Punch? Neither of them were in that.
No, one of them was in it for sure.
No,
Don't do this to me,
trust
Matt.
me. I worked at the
Don't
movie
do
theater
this.
when that came out, and it was like, or did I? I didn't. I think. I think it was after my time. But Dakota Fanning would have been like a child at that time. She's definitely not in it, right? I don't think so. It's a
No,
Zack
you're
Snyder
totally
movie.
right. You're totally right.
Just Scott worked on Sucker Punch. Isn't that crazy?
Where'd
Yeah,
they
he
film
was.
that?
I don't know. I think it was Vancouver. I don't remember. I'll ask him. But
The
yeah.
Canadian film industry is strong.
Hey, I made a lighthouse reference on the last episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, lighthouse looks like the lighthouse. 824 shot in Nova Scotia. Uh, it's tough, man, when you edit us talking to really burn like the gaps out, because then you see how many times that I say anyway or okay or like or
Like
so
is
or
what gets me. I've caught myself a couple times already. Been like,
there's always going to be something. Even if you take like out, you are always going to find a word you say a lot, and it's really hard to stop saying it because it's how you communicate, you know? So, but I'll cut it out as much as I can.
it's fine. It's fine. It's
I
it's all
really
about
will.
getting.
I'm going to make this into a 40-minute, like, packed, like, us talking. It's going to be hilarious. That's why we can just have moments where we go off course because I can just, like, bring it back together.
Well, then, while we're off course, did you see there's posters out for Spider-Man Noir?
The Nick Cage show?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen some of the footage behind the scenes stuff. It's crazy looking. I
I'm
don't
kind of
know.
excited for it, to be honest. Like, it might be terrible, but I'm here for it.
I think that it'll be good because they got Nick Cage and it's actually live action instead of a cartoon. Because cartoons are cool, but I'm just like getting kind of tired of them, you know? Holy shit.
Well, I think they set it up as a goofy thing in Across the Spider-Verse. So
Yeah.
because they set it up as a goofy thing there, hopefully they'll keep it as a goofy thing in live action. And
I
Goofy's
don't
good in
know.
Spider-Man.
I don't know what to expect because it looks like it should look like Sin City, kind of contrasty, you know? But I don't know if you can really do that to that extent in live action without copying Sin City because it's got
He
that
looks too
look.
much like Rorschach to really lean into that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be a weird mashup.
I honestly don't even know that much about Spider-Man Noir. I just know he's got web shooters. Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, that was a weird part.
Um,
Ready to jump back in it?
yeah, I'm trying to think of where we were at.
So we're at
Where
the
they were
part.
burning the thingy.
I got notes. So Marty and Levine do the like fly out there in a helicopter. They're catching up character development. Levine's talking about exotic shit, but we know he's a bit of a weenie. And then they get to the carcass, and there's like weirdness because the pilot doesn't want Levine to take pictures.
Yeah.
And Levine sees this as I don't know that Levine knows that this is an InGen. I do kind of know that because we know that we find out later that he's been investigating InGen. So I think he suspects these are critters from InGen, but at heart, he's hoping that it's a naturally occurring critter.
Yeah, they have a funny conversation because Levine's just like, no, no, no. It's hilarious. It's good.
And
Levine.
then there's the awkwardness too, where the pilot, or sorry, they're having Marty's fighting with the pilot. Oh, Levine finds a slash wound, which I think is implied that it's from a raptor. And
You
then
think?
he finds, I think so, and I think it says he finds that weird tag, like he cuts something
Yes.
off of it, which is if we don't know
We
now,
don't
we
know
know
it's a
it's a tag.
tag yet, though, right? We don't even know he's taken anything because they make it seem like he's about to cut something, but
Mhm.
you don't actually know. Like it sounds like he gets caught almost, right? And then they burn it, and it's like the dragon in the fire.
Yeah, because that's like the government shows up. The government. We should start that podcast, like the crazy, John, I'm looking at you. But they show up and they literally like blowtorch it. Yeah, and they talk about how
Yeah.
like it tracks and rears up. Like,
Yeah, and you can see all the teeth, and it's kind of like, okay, obviously that's a dinosaur.
shoot, I should have wrote down what dinosaur that was, because he
They
talked
say
about
what
it.
it is?
Yeah, well, I did take a note of it somewhere. I thought he said he thought it was like a particular thing. What page is that? This is like we know this is a trend that they're finding dinosaur corpses, or they're finding abhorrent forms.
Aberrant?
And
I'm gonna grab
torture.
this monitor. Hold on 1 second. I can't keep
Yeah.
looking over at it. It's so distracting.
No, you're good. It'll give me a second to try to find this thing.
There.
Oh, the other thing is they note that there's no scavengers on it, so they say that it must be diseased.
Really, I don't even remember that part, but that's the other thing I meant to ask you about with this novel. It's kind of interesting that disease with them is such a big deal, and like that's what's killing the dinosaurs. It's so fucked up.
Yeah, well, I think like we'll get into this later, but I think they are hoping to find like a natural ecosystem. Like it's kind of contradictory to what Malcolm says in the beginning in the original book, or like that quote from Malcolm, which I can't remember. Is it in the book where he's like, "Life finds a way," and it's like this is kind of like life kind of almost found a way. Like it's found a way, but the human influence can't beat that.
Chaos found a way. Chaos always finds a way. That's what was cool about that whole notion, is that when he was like, "Oh, people say the dinosaurs went extinct from the asteroid, but I say things just go extinct and everything will go extinct." And the dinosaurs, as much as we think that they would be around today and the asteroid killed them, they would have been knocked out by another thing. And then the island is a little miniature example of that. I wish there was an animated series that just did the original Jurassic Park novel and the Lost World novel, because I feel like they're so different than the movies. You could actually, like, especially the Lost World, you could definitely have like a whole audience for like this original material, you know?
Totally.
Okay, let's do it.
What are we doing? Oh, making a cartoon?
Yeah, we're gonna do the movies ourselves. We'll use the video wall and John and Sully.
John's the dinosaur.
Yeah, Sully is InGen.
So I can't. What was that kid's name? Like Eduardo or something?
Oh, the kid on the helicopter or the cliff wall.
Yeah.
Man, I was gonna say
Diego. It was Diego. I wrote it down.
Diego. He's like, it's just the birds. Yeah, that scene where Levine sees the little dinosaur in the riverbed. That was a really Spielberg moment, like really well described, I thought, in the
Yeah.
book. Like that seemed like it was a Steven Spielberg scene where he's like totally amazed that he's seeing a dinosaur for the first time. Like they capture it so well. And then Diego gets eaten by the
Yeah.
Velociraptor.
We do know it's Velociraptors. Like, do we know it's Velociraptors?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, don't we? Because they say is like the curved nail on his foot. I just
Yeah.
listened to it like a couple hours ago to make sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm insane.
We did scooch over a thing. Like you were talking about the disease. Marty brings up that there's an encephalitis. So like they see the dinosaur burn, it's all very dramatic, and then they go to the airport to drop Levine off. And him and Marty are having beers and they're talking about these things. And Marty's talking about this disease that they think is coming from these aberrant forms and infecting local people. That's why they're so adamant about torching these things. A part that you are gonna love is something I never understood from the movie is they called the islands the 5 deaths. And I was like, I don't like at first I was like, is it because 5 people died on the first island? But doesn't line up. And they go into this later in the book, but they talk about this legend about a warrior that was given the option of one of 5 deaths, and he chose all 5. So he went from island to island experiencing the different deaths. Which is a bit of a segue. But when they're talking about the islands, he says like this one's owned by privately owned, and he's like this one's a Club Med. And I wrote down one is a Club Med. Dinos attack cards. And I just had this image of like what would become Jurassic World, but like a Club Med being run over by dinosaurs.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you just brought that up because I'd love to do a series on the dinosaur attacks cards. Have all of them. You would love them.
Like and subscribe if you want to see an episode on dinosaur attacks. That might be your next solo episode.
Yeah, I can't. I have so many Aliens comics to do. It's going to take like my life. It's ridiculous.
And if you're looking for your own dinosaur attacks, they might not have them anymore, but they used to have them at the bar at Propeller down in the arcade.
Did they really?
Yeah, like unopened
That's so
packages.
cool. I'm not shocked. They have so much cool stuff there. Only at Propeller Arcade. That place is awesome. Are you gonna be home? Can you come and see any of the movies?
I don't get home until the 21st. Like I fly in early the 21st. We shoot right up until the 20th. I know. That's the one I wanted to see.
Dude, they're playing Treevenge right before it. Cora's never seen it, and her friend Kendall's going too. And I was like, "You guys are not gonna." I don't know how they're gonna feel with the last scene with the baby's head gets cut.
Oh, Cora!
I wish I could be there to just experience the audience reaction and like response to that, because the majority of the people have never been there before. I've noticed that like when I've gone to like the past 10 in a row almost, and there's a ton of people who've never been there, and it's shocking some of the responses.
Dude, that's such a wild decision to put that before, of all movies, Ernest Scared Stupid. Like, people are going to take their kids being like, we're going to go watch Ernest, and then be exposed to Treevenge.
That place is definitely not children ain't coming down there that time of night. Henry has had his kids there, though, because it's like all ages on Sundays, I think. Only at Propeller Arcade. I'll cut all that out. It's super
keep it in, because this is how we're going to get our sponsorship for John.
Oh, man. They would never. There's probably so many people knocking on their door to like get stuff done. They're so popular now. It's crazy. Yeah, that sucks you can't come to it. Anyways, the point is, I still don't think the aliens have visited us.
I would a podcast I listened to called Weird and Dead, which is about dinosaurs. They were talking,
Dead?
Dude, it's hilarious. Shout out Weird and Dead. And they did an episode on crop milk.
Crop milk? What does that even mean?
Crop milk is a secretion from a bird's crop that is reminiscent of milk.
It's like a what?
Crop. So like there's like a area in a bird's digestive system where they break up, like hard to break up things.
Okay.
And it's called the crop. It's like a muscle group. And some birds, mainly flamingos and penguins, produce a thing that they call crop milk. And as they regurgitate their food, it is like a secretion that adds nutrition to the fish, the regurgitated fish.
Okay.
To make the babies big and strong.
Okay, yeah,
and
makes sense.
Well, it gets weird now because the way they describe it is like essentially the birds develop like pimples on the inside of their throat, and when they rupture, that's where the crop milk comes from. But anyways, on Weird and Dead, they were talking about they found a recipe for crop milk because zoos have like the hand-raised baby birds now require a substitute. And they went through the recipe and they were almost like, we should make this on the Patreon. But it was like ground up fish and stuff. And it sounded awful. So
What did they say it tasted like?
They didn't do it, but it was literally like ground up fish and baby formula.
I almost gagged when you finished describing that. Baby formula is so gross. It's just that.
So if you want to see that on our Patreon, let us know because Sully and I will do some weird shit.
I was just gonna say Sully. Sully hasn't been on what? Sully hasn't been on an episode since the first episode. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, I bet you Sully would be rock solid through any of that food stuff.
Oh my god. It's like the hot ones except the maritime one where we're like eating weird fish and throwing up.
Yes. The thing that's hot right now is like, what is it? The Swiss fish in a can, like the strawberry or whatever. Have you seen that? No. Like people, as soon as they open the can, immediately vomit.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
I don't know how it's edible.
I can't even. I would probably throw up just seeing that.
What else we got going on here? All right.
What?
Go.
Oh, I was just going to ask you what you thought of like Sarah Harding, because I remember you mentioning she was related to the guy from the first novel.
Yeah, hilariously enough, a bird expert that probably made some crop milk. Because she says that he was a bird expert at San Diego. This is another thing that like we'll get into this a little bit more when we get to that part. But it seems really weird to me that Ian Malcolm is having a relationship with this girl and doesn't realize that her father is the person that saved his life.
Yeah. They mention their relationship, but how much time has passed between Juassic Park of him being crippled and...
Funny you should say that. I wrote that down. 3 years.
Really? 3 years. So from when he's better or from when he leaves the park?
No. From when the accident, like the incident on Isla Nublar, happened 3 years ago from this book.
So he was recovering bedridden for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And they had a relationship, I'm guessing, right after that? Like, it couldn't have been...
I don't know. This is where it gets dodgy. Like, this is where Crichton, like, got a little edgy. Like, maybe you shouldn't have thrown that part in there. You know what I mean? Because the other part is... I'm pretty sure Harding survived, didn't he?
Honestly, don't remember what happened to him. I think... I would say yes, because they mentioned a bunch of other workers too. Remember? Survived?
Yeah. Well, they talk about it. There's a part. It's actually coming up where Dodson. Yeah, because Dodson's coming up. Dodson has hired a private investigator to spy on Levin, and in the process of talking to the private investigator, he says like, okay, Donald Gennaro died of dysentery on a trip for work, which is hilarious because dysentery is like diarrhea, and
really?
He died. Yeah, nobody dies of dysentery. They die of dehydration caused by diarrhea from the dysentery. But it's funny because he died on a toilet in the movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that is crazy.
they talk about Hammond being dead, but I don't remember them talking about Harding dying.
I don't think he does then, unless he died in like the fire bombing thing. That's basically what they did to the island, right?
Yeah, probably napalm given the time. Where do we skip over here? We have our first. This is actually still in that part where Marty's talking to Levine, but he brings up Dodson, and they're like, Dodson, that guy that did the rabies experiments on people without telling them and did all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And they talk about like Dodson, like Levine is old school science, like Darwinian science of like, we are doing science for the sake of science. And then they talk about Dodson being the guy that's just doing science to be rich and famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I would argue that historically, like, scientists were scientists because it was easier than doing real jobs.
Yeah.
Like, just saying, they'll throw some of that out there. But,
Hot take.
maybe that's me being cynical. Like, you could be Darwin and go to the Galapagos and look at birds and shit. Or you could be like a dude that, like, I don't know, worked in a tannery or something. Like, like, come on.
It's funny because my cat's name is Darwin. Must be the same person. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It is like that. Yeah, the book is good. It's funny because we haven't even gone and been introduced to the next part with the children yet, and they're such important characters. But it seems like we're so far. That's another thing I liked about this is like, as I was reading it, I was like, okay, the characters are different, but it's still kind of the same vibe because they're getting geared up to go to Site B, and that was the main thing you're excited about in the movie The Lost World. But in this one, it seemed kind of like the buildup was far greater to them going to the island, because you actually got introduced for a long time to a bunch of the characters again before you even see all those vehicles outfitted and everything. Whereas in the movie, I think it's pretty fast, right? Because Hammond's like, there's a Site B, we're going, here's the paper, your girlfriend's there, go to these cool vehicles, and then you're off to the races, right?
Yeah, well, I just know this because I watched the clip in the movie last night. Like, from the time that Hammond talks to Malcolm, they're scheduled to leave for the island in 3 days. This, they weren't even scheduled to go to the island. They were just like, they were going to go on a field, like just go to a park and like test the stuff out, which becomes like a never ending problem with their equipment because they never had a chance to field test it.
Yeah.
It's crazy having read this a couple times now, knowing where this all goes and knowing where we are in the book now and being like, that feels like a whole other book right now. You know what I mean?
Know.
Like,
honestly, it is completely different. That's why I was so happy and I was so shocked when the book really veers off into its own solid direction completely from the movie. Like there's some parts like the T-Rex baby where they have it in the trailers and stuff, but even that was so different when
and the way he describes the dinosaurs, like the baby T-Rexes are so different than the ones that we see in the movie.
Yeah.
He talks about them having like feathers and stuff.
Does he really? I don't even remember that. That's
yeah.
crazy.
The way he described them, they sound like little birds.
Well, I thought that it was great. That whole scene was scary. I thought it was scarier in the book than the movie, to be honest with you. Because Ian was like, he was really injured, right? And then Sarah's like whole outdoorsy like persona comes into play because she needs to climb up the trailer, and like
and
it's super dangerous because everything's wet and there's like metal and handles can turn and cupboards can open. Like, I don't know, like they did a good job in the movie, of course, but like there was something with the book where it was because Ian was all unconscious and like hanging there. It was fucking awesome.
Listen, all the heroic shit that Malcolm does in the movie. What's that guy's name again?
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
All the heroic stuff Jeff Goldblum does Doesn't happen in the book. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
spoilers. He's a bit useless in the book, to be honest.
Yeah. He's just like their guide to be like, I know this, I know what's happening, kind of.
Totally.
But she does a ton of the cool stuff there. Oh my gosh, I know we're skipping ahead for a second, but like what's it called? The cage going up, the up thing.
Oh, the high
Holy
hide.
shit, that was crazy. Because in the movie, you're like, oh, that's really cool. Like they have all these cool devices, but you don't see it for that long. But in the book, like, there's a whole scene in it with the raptors attacking it. It's fucking crazy.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it sounds really complicated, but I'm like, they just built a set of scaffolding.
I know.
It's like scientists over naming things, right? They're like, "Ooh, did this high hide?" It's like, yeah, built 3 tiers of scaffolding, bud. Like, I've done that underwater.
Is it welded together or it's like disassembled, right? Because it collapses and then.
Well, they have to transport it there, right? So it's all in pieces.
Right. So fucked up. When Tim was in that, man, I was like, this is awful. Like, I felt so bad for that kid.
Arby.
Yeah, Arby. I felt so bad for him. I thought to myself, like, there's no way he's going to survive this. And then he kept getting, like, drugged. And I was like, he can't be in the cage still because he's getting drugged through the jungle by velociraptors and stuff. And I don't know. That stuff was really scary. And then Sarah Harding has the electric bike and the girl is a fucking gun. I thought it was awesome. I loved it. Sorry, that's way past the end point, but
it's so exciting, like compared to like what, because right now we just have like Levin and Marty having lunch, and then we have Dodgen and Basilton having late night lunch with the friggin' private investigator. Oh, I also wrote down, I was like, Berkeley, why are, like, I meant to look it up to see if Creighton went to Berkeley, because he's constantly referencing that university. It has to be his alma mater.
I don't know. We'll have to find out on the next episode.
I got a couple things before we get out of here. Don't do
that
we're
not
to me,
done.
man.
We are definitely not done.
So there's on page 43. So Levin catches I'll do the work. Marty and Levin break up lunch. Levin then sees the pilot talking to somebody on the phone and comes to the conclusion he's being spied on. So he's got to make movements to, go check out this island.
Yeah.
He hires a local ruffian. I don't know if he's a ruffian. I just threw that in there. A kid named Diego, and they climb this cliff. They go out there in a boat and climb this cliff.
Oh my god.
And they end up on the island, and it's described as a lost world, an area that is like an old volcano with mountains on the outside, and everything's living on the inside. Very Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and not unlike the place they took the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park Dominion. Like when they take them off the island and they're like, oh, like we built this like preserve for them. It's like in one of like a caldera thing.
Fuck. I've only seen the movie once. I was like, I don't know what the fuck. But now that I've read the books, Dominion isn't nearly as bad, but it's definitely not a good movie compared to the others.
It was Dominion, right? Where they took the dinosaurs to the other park. Yeah.
I don't even know anymore.
But when they're up there, like the ruffian Diego is just being like doing stuff, and they're trying to be quiet because they don't want to influence the animals. And I swear I'm going somewhere. Levin says, "We are alone here," which sounds like a pretty innocuous line, but there was a secret plot. There was a plot point that Crichton wrote out. There was supposed to be a caretaker on the island taking care of the dinosaurs.
Oh.
I can't remember if he was supposed to be like Henry Wu's brother or something.
He's just hanging out there?
He was there, like, and it makes sense. Like, you have all these dinosaurs that are lysine deficient, and he was trying to figure out how to fight the encephalitis that the dinosaurs were having. Like he was doing work. So they were supposed to meet him on this island, and that like Crichton ended up taking that out.
Well, then it wouldn't be a lost world if he was there, I guess. So
Yeah,
I guess
I
you
don't
don't
know.
need him.
That has come up in like other things, and they kind of did that in like sort of loosely did that in Jurassic Park 3, right? Where the Kirby kid has been like living on the island, and now he has like, he's got the dinosaur urine in the jars, and he's got the smoke grenades, he's got his little cape and goggles, and he's running around and stuff.
It's
And like
just like
you have this,
the cartoon show, which we should watch sometime and review.
but it's neat, right? That he's like, oh, like you have somebody now that has like a more in-depth knowledge of surviving in this world.
Yeah.
A
No, it's
crazy
cool.
turn of events would have been if the Kirby kid became Owen Grady.
Do you remember when everybody thought he was the kid with the Velociraptor claw from Jurassic Park? I would have bought it though. I'd be like, wicked. I remember when we saw that movie for the first time and they go into the old park, I lost my mind. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, so cool. Um, yeah. What don't you like about it so far? Is there anything where you're like, you know what? This hasn't improved every time I've read it.
No, I don't think so. There's just like every once in a while there's some weirdness. Like they talk about how hard it is for them to get to the island all the time, but that like it doesn't seem like anybody had any problem getting to the island.
No,
Like,
not at all.
like
It's weird.
yeah, I don't know. Like that all seems weird to me. Um the kid stuff is a little weird, but we haven't gotten there yet. Um No, I don't know. I think it's pretty solid. Like I don't know I have anything bad to say about it yet. I think I got duped a little bit by listening to the audiobook because it's funny because now we're talking about like how far like it seems like so I listened to the audiobook and now that I'm reading the book and seeing how long it's taking me to get through this section, I'm like, holy smokes, man, we're never getting off this island. Because like full
You know,
disclosure, like when I first just like Matt asked me where I wanted to like for the first episode, and it was like the first half of the book. Like I didn't realize.
yeah, there's a lot to cover. I was like, holy shit. Even when we did this chunk of it, I was like, this is a lot too if we really want to get nitty gritty in there because you could deep dive into just every like lecture thing that they have. Like we could do a podcast just on one lecture, like the opening of the whole what does it all mean, with Ian Malcolm's dinosaur theories and chaos theory and the KT boundary stuff is really cool. Side note, have you ever seen the KT boundary with your own eyes? The layer?
No, I have no idea. Is this a thing I can see?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a black layer right on the whole planet from when the asteroid hit.
Oh, and is it like the? Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, no, I've never seen that, but like that's the thing. I know what you're talking about now.
It would
That
be
is cool.
crazy to see it. I feel like it must be somewhere around here, right? Nova Scotia is like an amalgamation of like many pieces of tectonic
It
parts that
depends
went
on
together.
it depends on what part like because like tectonic plates don't necessarily shift horizontally, right? Like you can end up with tectonic plates that are like straight up vertically. So in that case, you might
Hmm.
not. I don't know. That's a good
Yeah.
question. We should do that. That's tune in for our Patreon content where we go to the KT boundary. I
Cuts to
bet
us
you.
in Digby.
I bet you Joggins, man. Like if any place in the world you can see it is Joggins.
Where is that?
Joggins?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's up by like Parsboro,
Oh, you mean it's close to us?
dude. Like you've never heard of Joggins, Matt?
What's there? I'm scared of the,
Dude,
of the
it's like full of
Ghostbusters.
fossils. Like, dude,
I thought that's what Digby was.
on Cosmos, the new Cosmos, Neil deGrasse Tyson went to Joggins.
Oh, I remember when they were doing that. Didn't Haley work on that?
I good for her though. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Pretty
took. I
crazy.
went there for a Destination Canada thing,
That's cool.
But like, dude, like
Destination
fossils are literally just falling out of the walls. There is like the oldest fossil in Canada came from Joggins, I think.
How?
I don't know,
Just the way
something
the
like that.
plate's moving?
Well, it's that, and then like the shores being eroded away by the Bay of Fundy, right? Exposing all these fossils.
Isn't like the best human remains, like aren't those found in Rift Valley in Africa still? Like isn't that the oldest place where they've found human remains ever?
I don't know anything about the longevity of human remains.
Because didn't they find
No,
Lucy
just kidding.
there?
Yeah, well, but I don't know if that's like a preservation thing or just like that's where they were.
I think it's because that's where they were, but it's also like I think it's the way that the rift is moving or something, the Rift Valley.
A divergent boundary.
It's something it's something like that. I have a book on it. I'll read it and I'll get back to you for the next episode. Can't remember.
But dude, go to Joggins. Like go to Joggins like Saturday.
I'll Google Maps it and see how close it is. It's my backyard.
It's really close to Joggins.
I'm actually there right now. This is all back. This is an LED tip video. You know what I was thinking? If you got 100-inch television, could you do that?
What?
Put that
Like just
behind
use
me
it
right now? You think I could fake what's behind me?
I mean, we've done stuff like that before. Like on, we did a poor man process on a train, and the train had like we put TVs in front of it.
Really?
Yeah,
It worked.
yeah, dude. That show was such a gong show.
What show was that?
It's called Run.
Never heard of it.
It has what's that guy's name? Gleason, Dom. He was in the Star Wars movies as like the guy that's yelling at Rey or at Kylo Ren all the time. I can't remember his name. Anyways, there was a famous guy's
Who's
kid.
yelling? Oh shit.
Let me look at it. Well, there's the famous Gleason, and then there's his son. This is how I'm gonna get fired.
It's it's actually me.
So there's Brendan Gleeson
Oh.
and his son, who I think has a slightly weird name. Yeah, Domin Hall.
He's a WCW wrestler.
And he played freaking why won't it just show me? Why you gotta do me like this, internet? He was in Harry Potter, he was in The Revenant. He was definitely in Star Wars. Don't do this to me.
He was never in Star Wars.
He was definitely in Star Wars.
Who is this again? Liam Neeson?
Dominal Gleason.
Abdominal.
You were definitely in Star Wars. Don't do me like this, bro.
You ever use a tandem bike?
No, I don't think so. Oh, this is gonna be really bad if he was not in Star Wars. He was General Hux.
Oh, that guy, the redheaded dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I've seen him in he was in Ex Machina. He's fucking great in that. And he was in Black Mirror. Did you ever see the episode where her husband passes away, so they get her like a robot? It's like that movie AI Spielberg did. And he's like a copy, but he's a robot. And
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of watched the first episode of Black Mirror, and I was kind of like that was good, but I might be good.
Yeah.
I was like, this is wild.
No, when I saw that, I didn't watch it for a long time because I was like, I'm not saying that that's not good storytelling, but like that's just like The Boys. I'm like, it's just not for me. I don't really think I can watch that much of that, you know. But Black Mirror turned out to be an excellent show. It was really. Have you ever seen the Pick Your Own Adventure episode or Choose Your Own Adventure?
No.
Oh my God, it's done now. It's not on Netflix anymore, I don't think. But you use your remote and you choose the direction of the story as it's unfolding. It was amazing. Cool. Yeah. Shit. Look, I found something for you to buy. Telescope.
I do. You think
$6,000.
I live in Toronto. Do you think I'm going to see any stars?
You could put it on your roof.
Well, I have
I'm
a
just kidding.
backyard.
I know. Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm bougie.
Shit, dog. Well,
Do you
I'm
have
probably gonna.
anything? Is there anything in this book that you would like to change? Like so far?
The only thing I would change is how long Ian talks for because he's so annoying sometimes. But I think you almost have to have that to make the build up to the really cool shit even better once you get there. Like, I mean, he's Michael Crichton. He's writing a book. I don't know. He probably knows what he's doing. I don't know. Right?
Dude, it's funny because I was reading this for the podcast, but I'm also reading his other book, Prey, at the same time.
How is Prey?
It's good. It's getting a little like there's a guy like the main character's kind of like a bumblefuck. Pardon my French. And then when the going gets tough, all of a sudden he's a fucking genius. I'm like, okay, like this is, you know what I mean?
Huh. Interesting.
But they talk it like the whole thing is like essentially when they're trying to program computers, like to his job was he programmed prey predator dynamics into computers to solve tasks. And then like essentially like these computers now are acting like predators. Dum
Cuts
dum
to the.
dum. Dude, I forgot that in in the Predator, they did that whole thing where like the predators have like human like DNA in them.
So stupid.
So
Honestly, that movie is so shitty. I mean, it's not like bad, like unwatchably bad. Like it's a funny movie, but I don't want Predator to be like that. That's why
dude,
I like Prey. It took itself seriously.
I do love the Bad Batch dynamic. You know what I mean? Like that was a lot of fun.
I always forget that what's his name? Key is in it.
Yeah,
My God, and
yeah.
Thomas Jane is in it. Like it has an awesome cast. You know, Olivia.
Thomas.
Some of the dialogue though, I don't know. I don't know. It's not even that. It's too goofy when Predator has the severed arm and he gives like the thumbs up. I was like, no, I
I
can't.
wonder because I know they did a bunch of reshoots. I wonder how much of that like suffered in like editing and reshoots. You know what I mean?
Have you ever seen the alternate ending behind the scenes photos with Ripley?
Mm.
She was in the movie. They shot this alternate ending where there's a Weyland-Yutani cryotube and Ripley is in it. They have an actress playing her and there's a face hugger, mechanical face hugger on her.
I did see that. Yeah, that's wild. Well, they
Yeah.
like AVP is canon in that movie, eh?
Which one?
And the Predator.
Is it? I don't even remember. I haven't even
'Cause
seen the Predator or Predators.
There's a part in the Predator where like they're in the lab, and you see behind them the spear with the xenomorph tail
Oh,
that they
really?
fashioned for her. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Didn't know that. That's funny. AVP looks like gold compared to half the things coming out.
Dude, I really liked it. Like I was just of that age. Like we talk about that with Jurassic Park. Like you very much identify with the first movie, but like this, like I'm a little bit younger than you, and this second movie just hit me at that right age. That I was like, this is
Yeah.
incredible.
I think it's
Cars,
just
dinosaurs,
because
motorcycles.
I think it's because the first one is also just so groundbreaking. So like it's such a huge deal in pop culture. That's probably why it stands out so much for me is because when it came out, I remember it was like changed the world. Like everybody was like Jurassic Park is the best movie. Like it was crazy. Um, um, what was the other one we were talking about? AVP. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I remember being so disappointed when I saw it in the theater because I love Aliens versus Predator my whole life. Just love it, right? But yeah, it just didn't do for me. It's funny because it's PG-13, but like Predator Badlands is also PG-13. So
Did
I guess it
you
depends on who makes the movie, you know?
did you go see again, you're a little bit older, man. Did you go see Freddy versus Jason in theaters?
Oh yeah, I worked at the movie theater when that came out.
Oh yeah, you're old.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
I was
2002.
young enough that I was like, I shouldn't be watching this, and like that. So I thought that movie was great. But in the realm of like the Freddy franchise and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, like it's an abomination.
See, that's the funny thing is I like Freddy versus Jason, and I talked to Henry about it too because he's a massive Freddy and Jason fan, right? And he also loves it because they tie Hypnosol in it from like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which is crazy. Like they actually bring it back to suppress their dreams and stuff. But he never really played Freddy again after that, right? That's the last movie.
Yeah, I
That's
don't think there
it.
was ever. I don't know of any other Nightmare on Elm Street stuff.
I think he made an appearance on like a sitcom called like The Goldbergs. That was it, but he was never in a
Really?
movie as Freddy. Yeah, but he was Freddy on the Gold. I think it's called The Goldbergs. Um, but yeah, that was it. The thing is, he could still play Freddy right now if he just put some makeup on. You know?
Well, I mean, he's old. I don't know. He run around chasing a bunch of kids and shit. You know?
I don't know. They got Harrison Ford running around being Han Solo, and he's like 80.
Yeah, I don't know. He's running. Like,
CGI. Um, but yeah, how do we even get on this topic?
we were just talking about like how our current situation, age may affect how we've like the quality of the movie versus like our nostalgia for the movies.
Maybe, I guess so. AVP is okay, but I don't think it's
And we were
any. It's
talking
like,
about like Jurassic Park versus The Lost World.
oh, I don't know. I remember when I saw The Lost World in the theater, I was surprised that it was a Steven Spielberg movie because it didn't seem like the first one at all. You know?
You, I think that I will put out there that people feel very strongly that the first Jurassic Park movie is better than The Lost World.
Yeah.
I think there is, another camp of people that is smaller that feel like The Lost World stands on its own. But I honestly think that I might enjoy the Lost World book more than Jurassic Park.
The movie or
Like,
the book?
no, the book. Like, if we're comparing sequels,
Oh.
like maybe Jurassic Park the movie wins
Hmm.
over the Lost World the movie, but Jurassic Park the book might give way to Lost World the book, if you know what I'm saying. Not sorry to mansplain that.
No, I got what you were saying the first time. I think that Jurassic Park is just, and it's hard because it can't exist without Jurassic Park. So it's just a sequel. It can't ever exist outside of having Jurassic Park to set up the Lost World. So I don't know how it would stand on its own if Jurassic Park didn't exist, kind of thing. You know? Do you know what I mean? Like you need to have Jurassic Park to have all the backstory to get to the Lost World.
For the movie or the
So,
book or both?
um, well, if I think about it with the book, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's a
Dude,
weird thing
no,
to think about. I don't
the book
know.
just stands on its own. Like if you just take out Jurassic Park and like, oh, there's an island with dinosaurs on it.
We should do an experiment and get Sully to read The Lost World without reading Jurassic Park. Although he knows because he's seen Jurassic Park, so we have to
We should
find
get.
somebody.
Do you think Cora would do that?
She's seen Jurassic Park a bunch of times, though.
We just tell her to read this book, Lost World, and see what happens. I don't know if they
Oh.
ever mentioned Jurassic Park.
In The Lost World? Like the actual words Jurassic Park? I don't think they do.
They just refer to it as the park.
Yeah, I think that was it. Or Isla Sorna, or like,
You could totally show somebody the Lost World, and then I could see a world where that person doesn't connect the two things.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I never thought about it before. I have no idea. But I suppose it's possible, like,
Like I can see
yeah.
somebody being like, "What happened before this?" Like they're talking about all the stuff that happened pre this book, but there's like,
You know what, though? Like, if somebody were to ever ask me for the rest of my life, you know, have you read, not that anybody's probably ever even going to ask me, but I would say that I thought it was a really good book. And I would say that to me, the Jurassic Park novel and the Lost World novel they're just one in my mind now. Like, it's just one long story, really. Especially with his name's Scott Brick, the guy who
Yeah,
reads it. The fact that
Scott
I got
Brick.
the same guy, I know this is just for the audiobook, but like it was kind of cool because it really does just feel like a continuation of Jurassic Park almost. Um, because some characters don't even come back, like Alan Grant and Ellie don't come back. They talk
Well, they
about
talk
them,
about him. Yeah,
yeah, but they're not in it. Like you know what I mean? So
he comes up a couple times because like Grant comes up a couple times because they talk about uh, uh, Levine went and confronted Grant and to ask him about the park, and
yeah,
Grant didn't give him anything. And then when Dodson and Basilton are having the interview with the private investigator, he mentions that Grant is on sabbatical and lecturing about um, what was it? It was like dinosaur behavior. Can't remember off the top of my head. But he
I
had
can't
something that
remember.
was like he was talking about it being like very obviously like stuff. Some I think he was talking about T Rex being a scavenger. I've got notes.
Really, I can't remember. I've only gone through this book like maybe 2.5 times so far. Like the Jurassic Park I went over, like oh my gosh, probably
Well,
dozens and dozens of times.
I listened to it probably like 8 times, and then I went back and read the physical copy, and that's when I took all these notes.
I have my physical copy here somewhere. That's what I started with. But I had to end in an audiobook. I just don't have I don't even know how I would do a book right now to read one. It sucks as I bought all these amazing novels to read. Like a bunch of Arthur C. Clarke. Um, like the last novel I read, I think was like The Time Machine. That's like a novella, really, but fuck, that was so fucking good. Anyways, we should read some more books and do like single episodes on like shorter stuff. That would be cool.
Alan Grant, paleontologist at Montana State. At the moment, he's on leave at absence and is now in Paris lecturing on the latest dinosaur finds. Apparently, he has some new ideas about the Tyrannosaurus being scavengers and cut him off. Read the book good.
Yeah, I remember because that's within the first 50 pages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing that part in the audiobook. But yeah, he's not. But he's there. That's the point, right? Like, all those characters aren't in it. They're basically like they get the Tim Lex treatment of the Lost World movie. They're in it for like seconds almost. Like it's crazy, and then they're gone. You know, it's wild that they did that. Oh man,
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for more book stuff. Like, listen, I ain't no book nerd,
I
but
think
there's
he
a
might
couple
be a
good
book
ones.
nerd.
There's a couple good ones.